How do we feel less pain? You know, do we go through life like we're on Valium? Oh, that's nice, terrific, wonderful, so glad, no problem. I can't be a Stepford wife. I can't be a Stepford person. But what I can do is try not to hurt myself. We replay our past mistakes over and over again, almost hoping that by replaying them we can change them. We can't. There's no time tunnel. There's no time machine. We can't go back and redo it. So we let it go. And I love this quote. Anjan Cha, whoever that is, like it. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. I don't know about you guys, but I want some peace. I want some peace. I like this. Learn a new skill. Learn a new skill. Oh my gosh. The West Genesee Adult Education has a ton of new skills you can learn for a very low cost. I suggest you look into that. You can also change your perception. If you go to work every day and on the way there you're saying, I hate it there, I hate it there, I hate it there, I hate it there. Or if you go to work and you go, you know what? It's not the best job in the world, but I'm alive and I'm going to make the most of it. Because it almost seems like Monday, all we can think about is Friday. It's the weekend, yeah. Well, what are we doing with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? We're kind of wasting our lives. We're like, you know, there's an old song from the 80s. Everybody's working for the weekend. Are we? Is that all we're doing? Because if that is, then we're shortchanging ourselves. Also, cry it out. And I mean you men too. And you don't have to do it alone. If there's something going on, you cry about it. It feels better when you're done. Also, make a list of your accomplishments. I mean it. That's important. For those of you who are eating because you think your life is meaningless, think of some things that you've done that are meaningful. Or say, you know what, maybe my life has been kind of meaningless till now. Well, I'm going to change it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to volunteer here. I'm going to make a difference. Also, I love this one. Visualize a box in your head labeled expectations. Oh, how many times do we go, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Oh, I shoulda done this. If I had more time or more money or more love or whatever, I would have been this. If I only could have met Mr. Right, who carried me around on a pillow, my life would have been perfect. We paint these coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and it ain't real. I had a friend once, and I might have told this story before. She was amazing because she'd meet someone, and they wouldn't call her back, and she'd say, well, I'm sure they're on vacation right now. You know, maybe they went down to Disney World. She'd paint this whole thing. It's like, well, how do you know? You just met this person, and they didn't call you. How do you? She'd paint a whole scenario. Or maybe their mother's sick, and they're taking care of their mother. What? Do we do that to ourselves? Do we paint? I would have lost weight this week, but I had problems. I had this, I had that. Like I said, it wasn't Christmas. It wasn't Thanksgiving. It was a boring week, and I say boring because there was no holidays in September. Now, those of you teachers might disagree with me. You might say, Ellen, you don't understand. That first week at school, I want to kill myself. I'll put you right over there, teachers. I will put you over here. Don't say that next week, though. Also, letting go of the anger and bitterness. There are people in this world who I feel are evil. Now, we'll make up excuses. Maybe they're a sociopath. Maybe they didn't have enough love at home. Maybe they're this. Christ loves them. Whatever, they're still evil. And maybe they hurt you in a way or hurt someone you love in an unimaginable way. Maybe they did it out of stupidity. Maybe they did it, like I think of drunk drivers. I mean, there but for the grace of God. Back in the 70s, I'm not going to go there. We all know. But still, your loved one gets killed by a drunk driver and you're sitting there going, what? There's legitimate pain and anger, and I look at people who've forgiven these kinds of unforgivable things, someone who's murdered their children or whatever, and I think there's the love of God, and they're doing it for themselves because you hang on to that pain, you hang on to that anger, it will hurt you, not just weight-wise, but spiritually also. And they say metaphorically throw it away. You pick up something right here and you write down XYZ was mean to me in 1954, and then you go like this. And you rip it, and then you rip it, because I can rip this into many, 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 many small pieces, and it will feel really good when you're done. And then you won't put it back together. Metaphorically, get rid of it. Then they talk about using stress balls or whatever. Letting go of past relationships, that's a little harder. You know, you gotta look, especially those of you who've lost someone you really love to death. This is talking about like a bad boyfriend mainly. You know, it's talking about someone who hurt you that you were dating. Now, when you are in a loving, beautiful relationship and you lose that person, it's easy to overeat. And when I say let go, you're never gonna let go of the memory of that person, but you can let go of the grief and the anger. How many times do you not talk about someone who passed away because it's too painful? Would they like that? You know, do we not want to talk about Steve from table 2 because it hurts too much? I love Steve. I'll talk about him till the cows come home. He was funny, he was nice, he loved me, he loved Pray It Up, he loved his family, he just loved this group. Is it painful? No, that felt good because I cared about Steve. So sometimes we think if we lose someone, letting go doesn't mean that you let go of them. You just let go of the pain and you embrace the love that they gave you. And here's where they talk about use the silly voice technique or even hang the statements. I gave out those 3 mantras from last week. Eating doesn't make it better. Breathe. I love Eckhart Tolle. Worry pretends to be necessary but serves no useful purpose. How true is that? We think, oh, I got to worry about that. Like I told my mother, I've been having trouble with my eyes. I might have to have some eye surgery. And the first thing my mother said was, great, now I get to worry about that? You know, so it's like, well, no, Mom, that's not what I told you, so that you would worry about it. But isn't it the way we feel sometimes when someone tells us something? We're like, oh, great, I get to worry about that now. But what we really need to do is try to get through this life as positively as we can. Even it talked about organizing. My desk at work is so organized, I know where everything is. It makes me feel better. If you can do a little something, some people have the most perfect logs. They're perfect. And usually those people lose weight too, by the way. But when you like can't remember what you ate on Tuesday, or if you come in and there's no exercise and it's a cluttered, messy log, those people aren't losing as much weight. Honest to God, I can go around, maybe with 1 or 2 exceptions, and the people with the best logs are the ones losing the most weight. Okay, now everyone's sitting there going, Ellen, why do you keep talking about letting it go? Because I'll tell you something. If we gain weight as a group on a week in September that has nothing big, that means we're eating over something more than the holiday cookies, or it means that we haven't embraced the healthy lifestyle. And why? Is it because of something that's that day? Is it the stress of the day? Or do you just feel like your whole life is a big piece of crap? And I say it that succinctly because sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm a big fat 57-year-old failure. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. Oh my gosh. And then I had this whole pity party. And then you hang on to the weight. You hang on to it. Even if you're eating healthy and exercising, you hang on to the weight. Instead of snapping out of it and going, Ellen, wait a minute. You got children, you got this, you got that. Sometimes pity parties feel good, but they're so counterproductive. They really don't serve a useful purpose. And then I talked about here letting go of the soft addictions. And we talked about those last week. If you watch TV, eat pizza, do something because you always have done it this way, people say to me, I can't lose weight because I go out to lunch, dinner, breakfast too often. I always go to this brunch every week. I got to have bacon and eggs because that's what I do. Is it? Is it what you have to do? Does someone have a gun in your head that's saying, when you're at that brunch, you eat bacon, eggs, and this and that? Is someone got a gun to your head and say, you do this every week for your whole life, this is what you have to do? I'm talking about saying to yourself, you know what? I'm going to change. I am going to take something I've always done, and I'm going to change it. Because you know what? I can go around the room and I can tell you the people that have changed, actually done something different. Like, I didn't have a drink for almost a year when I started the weight loss group because I knew that it would be a trigger and I would have trouble gaining the weight. Good luck in Nova Scotia, Kathy.
Thank you.
So, if you're still having beers or drinks and you think you're going to lose weight, even if you cut back the rest of the week, your body's hanging on to that stuff. So it takes me, and I'm going to stop there, Bob, and I know